So here's a question that needs answered. It's a question that when my therapist asked me this question, I didn't know quite what she was asking and I needed some clarification. So let's get to discussing this question and the reasoning behind this question. What's going on, everybody? I'm Joshua Mack. This is the Mac 12 TV channel here on YouTube. And today we're discussing the question, are you following the right path? Now, this is a question that could relate to almost anything in life, whether it's your career path, whether it's whatever you're doing as far as a hobby or religion. It could amount to anything. But it was a question that was asked of me by my therapist shortly after I had come to the realization that every relationship I'd been in up to that point, and even some of my friendships, could be considered to have been toxic and or abusive. The notion behind it was that you go down a path so often, whether it's your daily life, whether it's just life you're going through in general, you go down a path so often that the path becomes very redundant, very repetitive. You're used to what you're seeing on a daily basis. For me, it was the fact that I had gotten comfortable in a relationship that more or less was abusive. There was verbal abuse, there was mental and emotional abuse, things of that nature. And the thing of it was I felt, I had expressed to my therapist that I felt lost. And she had brought up about this path. She said, you've become so used to, so acclimated to walking down this path every day that you know where the pitfalls are. You know where the stumbling blocks are. You're used to maneuvering around these things on your daily basis. She said, but imagine this. Imagine you're walking down this path just like you do every single day. And in walking down this path, maybe instead of looking down the curve that you're normally going down, maybe you stop for a second and you look over here to the right or to the left and you notice that there's a path there. It might not be the most appealing looking path due to maybe overgrowth or fallen branches, maybe it's a little muddy, things like that. But what happens if you maneuver down your path and you get to this crossroads here, and maybe instead of going down the path that you're used to, maybe taking one of these paths. You can look down the path and see it's kind of leading towards the same direction as what you're used to going. This one the same. But what happens if you get to this path, down this path, and you look and you go, you know what? I'm going to take that path. I'm going to go that way and see just where it goes. So you walk through that path, you walk on the overgrowth, you move some of the branches, and you continue down that path. And it's a rough path because you're not used to going down that path. You might twist your ankle a little bit, you might run into a tree, with your arm, you might get scrapes, bruises, but you're like, okay, I made it down this path. So you get down to the path, the end of the path, and your day starts again. And the next day you come to there and you're like, you know what? That was an adventure. I'd like to go down that path again. So you continue down this path. And eventually, the path that you were used to now becomes this path where you've taken down the overgrowth, the bushes. You're used to where the pitfalls are, the obstacles, things like that. The question comes down to this. If your life is not giving you not what you want, but what you need to make changes. And that sounds really scary and really hard, but it's not. Little changes here and there can mean the difference in your day-to-day life. A little change you make today may not affect you tomorrow. It may not affect you the next day. It may not affect you next week. But if you continue with that change and continue progressing with that change and let that change carry over, as you move along, as you move with this change, you'll come to see that your life is changing. You'll come to see that your path is getting easier. Little changes here and there can make the difference in your life, and especially with your mental health. I'm not saying it's a solve-all, be-all, end-all. Everybody's mental health is different. Let me clarify that. Everybody's mental health is different. Mine is different than yours. Mine is different than this person's. Yours is different than this person's. Yours is different from hers, from his, from whatever. Mental health is not a one-size-fits-all thing. It's also not a one-size-fits-all solve. Things happen, things have to change. For some people, going to therapy and changing things mentally and putting themselves in a better place mentally, removing themselves from situations, sometimes that helps. Sometimes you need drugs to cope with it. That's a small step. I needed drugs for a little bit. I was on Lexapro for a little while. It helped. But it's these little changes here and there that can really help you in the long run. So, if you're looking at your life, at your daily life and going, this isn't right, something needs to change. Look for those changes you can make in your day. Whether it's to the left, whether it's to the right, or maybe it's in front of you. Maybe there's a change you have to make in front of you. That very well could be it. But make those little changes. See what happens. If you make a change and it falls back on you and it's not the change you needed, you can make other changes. But the question you have to ask yourself is, are you on the right path? That question has stuck with me, and I've honestly asked myself that at least on a weekly basis ever since February of last year, because it honestly has stuck with me and kept me around to say, am I on the right path? Do I need to make adjustments? So I can't tell you that you're on the right path or not. That's something you have to discover for yourself. As I've said before, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just telling you what I've learned and giving you ideas from what I've learned. It may not be a be-all, end-all for you. It may not help you. It may. But it's worth trying, right? So, are you on the right path? Again, I'm Joshua Mack from Mac12 TV here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the videos that I've been doing for Mental Health Awareness Month. And hit the bell. If you subscribe, hit the bell. That way you know when I upload videos. If this video has helped you out and there's somebody that you think it can help out, even in just inspiring them or whatever, hit the share button and share the link with them as well. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more. Again, I'm Joshua Mack. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.